Kitchen Disco by Claire Foges and Al Murphy. At night when you are sleeping, there's a party in your house. It's a pumping, jumping, funky bash when all the lights go out. In the quiet of your kitchen, when the moon is shining white, the fruit jump from the fruit bowl and they dance all through the night. Banana is the DJ who plays the latest hits. He spins, he jumps, he somersaults, then does banana splits. The lemons are the show-offs. They really love to rap. They breakdance on the chopping board and tap dance on the tap. The coconut is cheeky. He makes the others laugh. He dives into the washing up and has a bubble bath. Whee! So shake it like a mango, party like a pear, wiggle like an apple, hey, and dance like you don't care. It's called the Kitchen Disco and everyone's invited. So move your hips and shake your pips and let's all get excited. The tangerines go bouncy bounce, they like to scream and shout. One tangerine spun round so much that all her juice came out. The pineapple is very cool, he wears his hair in spikes. He hangs out by the microwave, high-fiving fruit he likes. So shake it like a mango, party like a pear, wiggle like an apple, hey, and dance like you don't care. It's called the Kitchen Disco and everyone's invited. So move your hips and shake your pips and let's all get excited. The grapes are such a silly bunch, they boogie in a conga. When all the other fruit join in, the conga line gets longer. The pears have big fat bottoms, they groove across the floor. The apples wave their stalks around and scream for more, more, more. So shake it like a mango, party like a pear, wiggle like an apple, hey! Just dance like you don't care. It's called the Kitchen Disco and everyone's invited. So move your hips and shake your pips and let's all get excited. At breakfast time, the party slows. The fruit must go to bed. They climb into the fruit bowl and they rest their sleepy heads. So if you're in the kitchen and you hear them sing this song, then don't ask why and don't be shy. Come on and sing along. Hi, so today we are going to have a look at the O digraph. So we'll be looking at the different O graphemes and the different ways that we can spell O and having to think about where they fit in different words, which one would be a best guess for different places, and we will do some reading, some sorting, and then a little bit of writing at the end. All fruit themed today to go with the Kitchen Disco book, which if you've not yet listened to, you should definitely go and check out. It's a great little story. And so today the O graphemes have been lost in the fruit bowl. There are 5 different ways that we are going to look at for making the O sound. There are a few others, but they are super rare and a little bit more complicated. So we'll focus on these 5 for now. So we've got OA, which makes that O sound in the middle of words, and sometimes at the beginning of words as well, like oats. And then there's the split digraph O. Now the split digraph is the O something E, and the something, the letter in the middle, is the one that pushes the digraph apart. So you can always hear a sound after the O because that's the one that pushes them apart. So in the word tone, you've got t, and then you've got the O sound, and then the n, which is the last sound that you hear, is the one that comes in the middle, is the one that pushes them apart. Split digraph O is super common. So it comes obviously in the middle of words because there's at least one sound that we hear afterwards, the one that breaks the O apart, but it is a very common one. We can also sometimes have OW, which comes at the end of words, which is a more common one than OE, which also comes at the end of words but isn't particularly common. It doesn't happen in a lot of words. We do have the OE in words like tomato and potato and hero. When it becomes plural, that E is there as well. And then there's O by itself, which is uncommon but is not unheard of. So we'll find some examples of that today. So let's get started with the O graphemes that have been lost in the fruit bowl. So the first one is the word boat, and it has an O and it's in the middle of the word. So it is indeed the OA grapheme. The next one is the word go. And you can see that there's only one letter after it. So it is the O all by itself. Go, so, no. All of those end in just the O by itself. They're common exception words, but they end in just that one letter by itself. So that's go. Or the next one is snow. Snow. And it's got the O at the end of the word. It's more than one letter because it's a bigger strawberry. And it is indeed O-W. It's at the end of the word, it's O-W. Now the next word says bone, but it's really easy to spot which digraph this is because it's got two strawberries because they are split. This is the split digraph O. So this is the O as in O something E, and the something in this case is the N. That's what we can hear at the end of the word bone. Okay, let's go for stone next. Stone. Yeah, it's an easy one to spot. It's a split digraph one. It's got two strawberries that are split apart, so it's the split digraph one. Grow is next. Look at where the O sound comes. It comes at the end. It's the O-W. Absolutely, well done. Grown is next. Grown. The O sound is in the middle of the word. And in this case, it's O-A. Yeah, absolutely. If you tried the split digraph one, it just wouldn't look quite right. And in this case, obviously, because we have it written down, you can tell that it's not that one because it only has one strawberry. The digraph is together. Toe is next. Toe, as in the toes on your feet. And this is OE. It's one of few examples where OE is used as an O and comes at the end of a word together. Open is next. And it's only one letter making the O sound in the word open. It's O by itself. And then finally the word nose. Nose. And it's quite obvious that that one is the split digraph one because you can see that the two strawberries split apart. So that is what that one is. Okay, let's move on and let's have a look and see if we can sort the words. See if we can help the cherries to sort the words. So there is a mix of words there. Some have the OA grapheme. Some have the O something E grapheme, the split digraph one. Some have O by itself. Some have OE and some have OW. Hopefully we'll be able to see which ones are more common and which ones are a little bit rarer when it comes to those different words. We'll do it by column. So we'll look for all the OA ones first and then all the split digraph ones, etc., rather than going word by word. So there's a whole load of words at the bottom there. Let's start by having a look at what all of those different words are. So we've got local, smoke, pillow, borrow, throat, woe, soak, arrow, rope, coach, home, swallow, oval, toad, and those. There are a few weird words there as well. Local, meaning near to you. Local, so my local shop is the shop that is close to me. Woe, you can be full of woe, you can be full of sadness. Quite an unusual sort of word. It's not a particularly common word these days, but it is an O word. Arrow, as in the pointy bit at the end of a line if you're looking at directions, or potentially the sharp bit that is thrown with a bow and arrow. That would be an arrow in that respect. Coach, either as in somebody that's training you to do something, or as in a mode of transport, say like a big bus, we would call a coach. Oval, an oval is a shape, it's a round shape, it's kind of like a circle but squished. An egg but flat, it's a 2D shape, so like a flat egg shape would be an oval. And then the word swallow can either mean like to swallow, it could be the verb to swallow, like if you've got food, then when it goes down your throat, then you're swallowing that. But it can also, a swallow is also a type of bird. There you go, there's a dual purpose word for you. Okay, let's have a go at sorting those words. So the first thing we want to do is to look for all the OA words. So which ones can you find that are OA? Soak, coach, throat, and toad. Brilliant, well done. You'll notice that all of those O's are in the middle of the words. And there's quite a lot of them. It's quite a common way of spelling O. Okay, split digraph O is next. So it's O something E. Smoke, home, rope, and those. Yeah, well done. There are quite a lot of those. O, split digraph O is quite a common O grapheme. It's one of the most common split digraphs. Yeah, you will often find that is, it sounds like it's in the middle, but it's because it's split obviously by something else. O by itself is next. And you're looking for two words, and they're both relatively obscure words because O by itself does tend to come in words that are a bit more unusual. So we've got local, the O by itself there, local, and then oval. Was at the beginning of the word oval and part way through the word local. And sometimes the O by itself comes at the end as well. It likes to get around. OE together is next. Now, previously we looked at the word toe, and here there is just one. There is just the word woe, which we talked about meaning sort of sadness. And there aren't tons of words that use OE. It's generally at the end of the word if there are. And like I say, some of those words that end in O, like potato and hero and tomato, once they're made plural, they do have OE in, but it's more because of the plural rather than because it's an OE grapheme. And then OW is last. All of these OW graphemes are at the end of the word. Generally they are. OW at the end of the word is most common. So we've got pillow, borrow, arrow, and swallow. So pillow, borrow, arrow, and swallow. Those are all of our OW ones. Okay, right then. One last challenge. And it's a writing based one. So if you want to go and get something to write with and something to write on, then pause the video, go and do that. You can do this in multiple ways. So either you can just see if you can work out which O sound you think it is and you can shout it out loud along with the video, or you can have a go at just writing the words that are missing. Now the number of stars that are in the word are the number of letters that are in the word, so hopefully you can use that to help. Or you can have a go at writing the whole thing and you can use it up on the screen. You can copy all of the in-between words, or you can have a go at doing the whole dictation. Just turn the screen away, you'll still hear but you won't see, and then you can have a check through. So I'll read it a few times and then we'll have a look at the answers. So the clothes were in soak and the food on to roast, with hot chocolate boiling on the stove. Coats were hung and children were sat by the window, hoping for snow. I'll read it one more time and then we'll pause at the word. So the clothes were in soak and the food on to roast, with hot chocolate boiling on the stove. Coats were hung and children were sat by the window, hoping for snow. Let's pause this time at the O words and see whether or not we can work out which O sound is in it. The clothes. Clothes. This O sound is in the middle, but it's unusual. It's not a normal digraph. It's only one letter. The clothes were in soak is the next word. Soak. It's in the middle. It is a normal way of putting it in the middle. And the food on to roast. Or, listen for that other sound. Roast. This is a common way of having it in the middle, but there's a st at the end of that word. With hot chocolate boiling on the stove. Stove. We hear the sound at the end, but it's not written there. Might be a clue. Should be a clue. Coats. Oh, there we go. Coats. Common way of putting it in the middle. Were hung and the children were sat by the window. Ooh, window. O at the end of a word. Hoping Now, the word hope has a split digraphy O in, but this doesn't, because it's got the ing. This is just one letter making the O sound. Hoping for snow. Snow is that last O word. It's at the end. Okay, so let's have a look then. So clothes was an O all by itself. So CLOTH for th, and then ES at the end. Were in soak was OA because it was in the middle. And so was roast was OA too. Stove was the only split digraph there. So that's O something E, and the V comes in between. And then coats is an OA. Window was OW because it was at the end of the word. And then hoping, if it was the word hope, then it would have been split digraph O. But because it has the ing on the end of the word, we lose the E for ing. So it's the O by itself that makes the O sound in the word hoping. And then snow was the last one, and it was OW at the end. Well done. I think you did an incredible job. Remember, with O, OA generally in the middle, OW generally at the end, unless it's a split digraph one where it's O something E, or an uncommon O by itself one. But if ever we're unsure, we can always look it up in the dictionary. Well done today, you did a super job, and whatever you are doing for the rest of your day, have a great one. Bye-bye. Hi, so today we're going to have a look at weighing. So we're going to have a look at the weight of something, how heavy or how light it is. And there are two terms that we will need for this. So we will need this one, a G all by itself, and that means grams. And we will need this one, kg, and this means kilograms. So one means light things. So one we use for light things, and then the other one we use for heavy things. And we can combine them. Things can be grams and kilograms. If they're a little bit, like if they're heavy, then they can have kilograms and they can have grams in them. So I kind of gave that away. The kilograms are heavier and grams are lighter. So kilograms are made up of grams. There are 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. It's super important not to fall into the trap of thinking just because something is big, it's going to be heavy. And just because something is small, it's going to be light. Because that's not always the case. It depends on how dense it is. So since the story that I read this week was Kitchen Disco, and if you haven't had a chance yet to go and watch that, then watch it. Not because it is particularly educational, it's just a really fun story, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So if you haven't had a chance, then go and watch that. But because we did that, I thought it would be incredible to use what we have and to do some weighing with the fruits in my fruit bowl from my own Kitchen Disco. So we are going to do some estimating, some comparing, some weighing. We'll use a set of scales and we'll have a look at the scale. Some scales these days are digital, so you put the fruit on them and it will give you a number. It will come up with a number. It will tell you exactly how many grams it is. My scales do not work like that, which is useful for this. And I think it's good to learn how to read a scale. And because of the way that my scales work, they can never run out of battery or break, so I like them. So you don't need anything to join in with today's session. You can just shout at me, you can just join in that way, or you can just watch, that's fine. So before we get into the fruit bowl, let's do some quickfire grams or kilograms. So let's put some pictures up on the screen and let's see what we think, whether we think that we will weigh it in grams or kilograms. So let's start with a car. Yeah, a car is heavy. We would weigh it in kilograms. Definitely kilograms. What about this one? What about a chocolate bar? What would we measure a chocolate bar in? Yeah, grams. It'd be a very big chocolate bar if we were weighing it in kilograms, wouldn't it? Okay, what about a book? Yeah, we would weigh that in grams. It may well fall over the 1 kilogram band if it was a particularly heavy book, maybe like an encyclopedia, but we would definitely start by weighing it in grams because it's more likely to be under a kilogram. A boat. Oh, a boat. Absolutely, that's definitely kilograms. A chair? Yeah, I think you're right. I think it would be grams. I think it would be grams because it's not a particularly heavy chair, is it? But if I showed you a different chair, then it may well be kilograms. If it was like a big heavy wooden chair, then it would definitely be kilograms. What about a fox? Yeah, a fox you would definitely weigh in kilograms. But what about a kitten? Yeah, when it's first born, I would agree. I would say that it would probably be weighed in grams because it's only little. Okay, for today, most of what we do will be based in grams. We are going to use a set of scales. Now, my set of scales just have the bottom bit here, and you can see the scale here, look. And then they have a bowl that sits on the top, and then I can put things in, or I can just rest things on the top of my scale because this bit here, can you see the red line on it? This bit just moves. So I can put it here so that it is on 0 kilograms. So my set of scales, in actual fact, will weigh round to 2 kilograms, 2 kilograms and 200 grams. All together. So it would weigh things that were quite heavy. So I just have to make sure that my red line is on the 0, and then I can put the thing on top and weigh how heavy it is. So let's do a little bit of predicting, and then we will weigh them and we'll see if we can estimate how heavy we think things will be in relation to each other. So in my fruit bowl, well, these weren't in my fruit bowl, but they were out on the side after doing my lunch. So I've got tomato, I've got an avocado, I've got a mango, I've got an orange, satsuma, smaller than an orange. I've got a banana, I've got a plum, I've got a pineapple, what else is in there? Oh, in actual fact, maybe not what you find in everyone's fruit bowl, but I've got a chili too. Oh, and a blueberry. So out of the things that I have, which one do you think will be the lightest? Which one do you think will weigh the least amount of grams? The blueberry? Yeah, I agree. I actually don't think that my set of scales will tell me how heavy one blueberry is, because I'll show you the scale. One blueberry is the lightest thing that I have for sure. But can you see the scale here? Look. So on the scale, it goes from 0, and then this line here, this big line, is 100. So all of these little lines in between are 25. There are 4 in between, so each one is 25. Now, what I do know from trying to weigh the blueberry on the scales is that my blueberry is less than 25 grams. Now, I can use a little bit of maths terminology to show that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my blueberry, and then I'm going to show that my blueberry is less than 25 grams. Here's my blueberry, and it's less than 25 grams. 25 grams is the bigger one, so it's going to eat that. So my blueberry, now what I might need to do is just label the blueberry, because otherwise it looks like 0. There we go, look. So my blueberry is less than 25 grams. That is what I know. Is the tomato going to be heavier or lighter than the blueberry? Heavier. But is it going to be 25 grams? Let's have a look. I'll do it on a flat surface, and then if it is, I'll show you. Ooh. opposed to the first line. Remember, on my scale, each little line means 25. So this one, my tomato, is 25 grams. How would I write that down? 25 grams. 25G, 25 grams. Yeah, absolutely, well done. So my tomato weighs 25 grams. So I could add that on to the sentence that I just wrote, because what I could do is I could, now this is where the problem arises in that all of my drawings look the same. There we go, look. So my blueberry was less than 25 grams, but my tomato is more, is greater than. Okay, let's have a look at a couple of different things and we'll see if we can work out where we think they fit. So we did those two. Banana and plum. Ooh, they're quite close. Which one do you think will be heavier? The banana. Okay, let's weigh the banana first then. Oh, right, here we go, look. Can you read that scale? It's to the first big line or the fourth little line. So this one is 100 grams. So the banana equals 100 grams. Plum the plum only goes to line number 1. How much does that mean it weighs? If it only gets to the first little line, it's 25 grams. So my plum and my tomato, yeah, my plum and my tomato weigh exactly the same amount. So my plum, considering the size of it, is quite light. Okay. Avocado. Heavier or lighter than the banana? Heavier? Maybe it's got a big stone in the middle. Let's weigh it and find out. Oh, yeah. So, let me show you. Whoop. It's trying to run away. Can you see that? It goes to the 5th little line. So it goes past the first big line and it goes on to the next one. So it's 100 and then one more line, 25. 125 grams. What does that look like? 125. 1, 2, 5, and then G for grams. And that was the avocado. So what I've learned there is that the avocado is indeed heavier than the banana. What have we got left? We've got an orange, chili, mango, and pineapple. Those are the things we've got left. So what do we think the satsuma, it's not an orange, it's not big enough to be an orange. The satsuma will be heavier than the blueberry, the tomato, and therefore the plum, but I think it's going to be lighter than the others. Oh my goodness, it only got to line number 1. So what does that mean? It's about 25 grams. Yeah, exactly. You're getting really good at this, remembering the scale thing. So that means that the orange and the tomato and the plum all weigh about the same. Wow. I would have expected the satsuma to be heavier. I don't know why. Okay, what am I left with? I've got a chili. I think the chili is going to be heavier than the tomato, the plum, and the satsuma. I thought it was going to be heavier because it's bigger, but I was wrong. They all weigh about the same. So we can add that into the 25 gram section. That teaches me for thinking that bigger means heavier, because it doesn't always. Okay, there are 2 things left. We've got the mango and the pineapple. Now, both of these things definitely feel heavier than the other things that I've weighed. But which one do you think will be heaviest? You think the pineapple? Let's weigh them both then. Oh my goodness. Let me show you. Look at that. What did that one mean? What did that kg mean? Can you remember? 1 kilogram. Oh, my pineapple is a whole kilogram. Whole kilogram. My mango? Ah, you were right. The pineapple is the heaviest because it is the line after 400. So 400 is the number you can see, and then it's the line after that. So what will that be? 400 plus one line. Yes, well done. It will be 425 grams. 425G, 425 grams, because each one of those lines meant 25 grams. So we just count in multiples of 25. So after 400, we will add a 25 on. Oh, let's see if we can remember from the heaviest down to the lightest. Pineapple, 1 kilogram. Mango, 425 grams. And then we take a massive leap down. We had the avocado that was 125 grams. It was past the 100 and then one extra little line. The banana was 100 grams. So it was 4 little lines. In actual fact, it's shown by a big line. And then all of these things were about 25 grams. And my little blueberry was less than 25 grams. You did some really great estimating and reading off scales today. If you have some scales, then you could have a practice of your own. Remember, grams for light things and kilograms for heavy things. Whatever you're doing with the rest of your day, have a great day. Hi. So I join you from the kitchen this week. The story that I read was called Kitchen Disco. Great story, just a little bit daft and a little bit of fun, but if you haven't had a chance to go and watch it yet, then do, because it's great. You'll love it. But one of the things that we need to learn about is the importance of a healthy, balanced diet. So what better way to learn about a healthy, balanced diet than to cook one? Cook a healthy, balanced meal with me. So it's lunchtime and I'm going to make myself a chicken wrap. Greek inspired, not Greek, but Greek inspired with some Greek flavours in there. And while we cook, we'll have a chat about the various different elements of that healthy, balanced diet and why they are good for us, what they do for our body, and what it is that we need from them and how much of them we need, because we don't need the same amount of everything. And we'll do some basic food hygiene as we go. So first things first, before we start doing anything, we need to wash our hands. I did wash my hands before I switched you on, so we can get going. And we're going to start with some chicken. Now, I'm using chicken as my protein, and I'm going to chop this up into strips just because it will then fit easier into my wraps. Protein comes from all sorts of different things. So it does come from meat, obviously. This is meat here, but meat isn't the only source of protein. We can get protein from beans and pulses, and obviously this is chicken, but we can get protein from red meat too, or pork or fish, or we really can get protein from lots of different sources depending on the sort of diet that we choose to eat. So I'm going to cut this into strips. And then I am actually going to fry it in a pan with a little bit of oil. I'm using some olive oil just because that's what we have, which is absolutely fine. I'll talk about fats in a minute. But the main reason that I'm doing that is because it's quicker than cooking it in the oven or under the grill. That would take me longer. So I am going to cook it in my pan, just with a little bit of oil and with some herbs. Just for flavour, for no other reason than they taste nice. We need protein in our diet. We can choose where that protein comes from. Like I say, we can get it from white meat like chicken or turkey or pork, but we can also get it from red meat or fish or beans or pulses if that's what we prefer. But protein is important because all of our cells in our body are made of protein, and the protein that we eat help to repair them and to regenerate them. So the protein in our diet is really important for repairing the cells, the different bits that make us over time. So if we don't get enough protein, then our cells can't repair in the right way. Now, I've just been handling raw chicken. So what I need to do is, once I've got this into the pan, I need to wash my hands again, and then I need to get rid of the board, and I need to get a different one for chopping anything else, because raw chicken can have salmonella and other things. Basically, raw chicken can make us poorly, so I can't use this board for cutting anything else because it's had raw chicken on, and I need to wash my hands before I touch anything else. When the chicken is cooked, it will be fine for it to touch everything else, but right now, it's not. So I'll wash my hands and then I'll come back with a fresh board. I'm back, my hands are clean, and I have a new chopping board and a new knife for everything else that we're going to do, because in the name of food hygiene, we want to keep that raw chicken away from everything else. So we talked about protein, and it's important, and we do need quite a lot of that in our diet because it is all about repairing and regenerating those cells that our body's made from. And we also need to make sure that we have carbohydrates in our diet. Now, carbohydrates take many forms. In my meal today, they are going to take the form of a wrap. And these are seeded, so they also are quite nutrient dense as well. They've got quite a lot of nutrients in them, so there's lots of goodness in there for my body. It won't only be wraps that we eat, life wouldn't work like that, but things like bread and pasta and rice and noodles, all of those are very carbohydrate heavy, and potatoes. I quite like potatoes. They all form the sort of carbohydrate family, and carbohydrates are really important for our body because our body gets an awful lot of energy from them. So while it's important not to only eat them, they're really good for fueling our body. So carbohydrates are really good at fueling our body. We get lots of energy from them. Our body turns the carbohydrates into glucose, and that is what fuels our body. And obviously our bodies need fueling for everything that they do. Even sleep requires fuel. So we are burning energy all the time, which means that our body does need quite a lot of carbohydrates in it. And like I say, you will find those carbohydrates from lots of different sources throughout the day, but my source of carbohydrates for my lunchtime is that wrap. I was just turning over my chicken is what I was doing. Why you couldn't see what I was doing. I was just turning it over because it's super important, of course, that my chicken gets cooked all the way through, because chicken can make you poorly. It's not one that you can have rare or undercooked. It can make you poorly if you don't cook it all the way through. So it's a super important lesson to learn, and it's part of the reason why I cut it so thin. So I'm cooking my chicken in a little bit of oil. Sometimes I might choose, if I was having a sandwich, I would choose to put some butter on my bread. And sometimes, not today because it's not ripe enough, but sometimes I love a bit of avocado. Now, all of these things contain fat, and often we would think that that's not the best thing. But actually, our bodies need some fat in the diet that we have, because fats help us to absorb vitamins. So some of the other foods that we eat contain vitamins and minerals, and the fats in our diet from things, I mean, like an avocado is a good example, but from things like butters and oils, although we don't need lots of them, they do help our body to absorb the vitamins from some of our other foods. So that's equally as important. In my wrap so far, some fat, some protein, some carbohydrates, including some extra nutrients because it's seeded and those seeds have nutrients in them. And then I guess I need to add a few more things because we're not quite done with our healthy, balanced diet. So we need to add some vegetables, definitely need some vegetables in there, and we need to add some dairy to our meal too. So in terms of vegetables, it would be weird if I put carrots and things like that on my wrap, but I've got some salad here, so I'm going to add some salad. This salad has beetroot and red chard and lamb's lettuce in it, so it has 3 different types of leaves, make it a bit tasty. And then the other thing that I'm going to put in terms of vegetables, now technically these are a fruit, but for the same reason fruit and vegetables come together in that part of our diet, The other thing I'm going to put in is some tomatoes. So I say we need fruit and vegetables. Some people think that we should aim for 5 portions of fruit and vegetables every day in our diet. Now, 5 is quite a lot, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility. And when we say a portion, we mean a handful. So for me, a handful of tomatoes is about 4. They're little tomatoes, is about 4, but if you have smaller hands, then it won't be quite so much. So that's sort of the way of measuring a portion of fruit or veg, roughly a handful, and I reckon you need about 5 every day. So for me, this is like a really smart way of getting fruit and vegetables into my diet, because even as a grown-up, I'm not the best at eating 5 portions of fruit and veg every day, but here I can make sure that I've got a handful of tomatoes, I've got a handful of different lettuces, like beetroot and lettuces and things, and I won't put it in my wrap because that might taste a bit weird, but I can have a plum with my wrap. So I've then had 3 portions of fruit and veg in just one meal. So when your grown-up's trying to give you veg with your dinner, fruit with your, instead of unhealthy snacks, then maybe that might be important. I still eat chocolate and nice things like that because that's important for me too, but try and get my fruit and veg in first. We are nearly there with the different things that we needed. Apart from, so far, we don't have any dairy. Now, the fruit and vegetables, I didn't tell you why they're important. The fruit and vegetables are the bit of our diet that give us our vitamins and minerals. So they're the ones that the fats help us to absorb. They're full of nutrients, of vitamins, of minerals, which are great for our body and keeping it healthy. It needs all of those, so they are quite important. And then the last bit that I haven't talked about in terms of my lunch is dairy. So now it's important to say dairy or a dairy alternative, because some people can't have dairy. For some people it makes them poorly, but you can still get the nutrients from dairy alternatives, particularly if you were lactose intolerant. There are lots of things that are lactose free, and actually if you were vegan you wouldn't have an awful lot of animal-based dairy like the things that I'm going to talk about now, but there are lots of plant-based alternatives. So my dairy for today comes in 2 forms, and the one is a bit fatty as well, but we know that that's okay. A little bit is okay. So this one here is cheese. This is feta cheese. This is the start of my Greek bit. So I've got some feta cheese to go on my wrap, which is really sharp and like really tasty. That would be really lovely. And then the other thing that I have to go on my wrap is a little bit of tzatziki, and this is yogurt based. So the yogurt is the dairy element of this particular one. It also has cucumber in, but not enough for it to count as one of my portions of fruit and veg. The dairy is important in our diet because it helps our bones. It helps our bones to be healthy and strong and resilient. It's the only bit of our body that we haven't talked about so far. It is important that we get dairy into our diets, but we do have to be aware that some sources of dairy are high in fat too, so it's not that we don't need those, but we don't need quite as much. Now, I briefly mentioned that I eat chocolate, but other than that, I haven't really touched on sweet things like chocolate and sweets. And the reason for that is I don't need them. I get energy from chocolate and sweets because there's sugar in them, and that sugar gets turned into glucose, which my body does need. However, I can get that from other sources. I don't have a need for them, but I like them and they're nice, and in moderation, so a little bit, they're fine, but not all the time and not loads. And for my lunch, I don't need anything. And if I want to have something sweet, then I could have some fruit after my lunch, like my plum. And then I would get something sweet, and I would get some energy from it. But I would also be getting vitamins and minerals, and it would be one of my 5 a day. So sometimes it's about eating smart. I make sure that I get all my nutrients and the nice healthy things that I need from my diet, the energy and the protein. And then if I still really fancy a little bit of a sweet treat, I will have it. But this is a great way of putting all of those different bits together. So I am going to combine my wrap now with my tasty chicken and my salad and cheese and tzatziki and tomatoes in my wrap, and I'm going to enjoy a healthy, balanced lunch. Whatever you're doing with the rest of your day, have a great one. Bye-bye.
Hello Angel students, today I would like to talk about affirmations and the power of affirmations. Near the end of the video, we're going to go through a list of affirmations. So it might be a great idea to pause the video, give yourself a moment so that you can grab a notebook. I'm asking you to do this because as we go through that list near the end of the video, if there is anything that you hear that you resonate with, that you like the sound of, that sounds like you, that just makes you feel good, I'd love for you to write it down and add it to your personal list of affirmations. Affirmations are like a bundle of joy wrapped up in a beautiful teeny tiny sentence. Affirmations help us with the way that we see ourselves, with our self-image, with the way that we think about ourselves and the thoughts that we have about ourselves and others also. Affirmations have the power to build self-esteem, to build up our confidence and help with our mindset. They actually help us with a growth mindset, which means that it keeps our minds growing, keeps our minds expanded, keeps our minds open to all new possibilities. The power that affirmations give us in having a growth mindset is kind of likened to a plant. If you think about a plant, when you have a plant, you have to give it a certain amount of things. You have to give it sunlight, you have to give it water and feed it, you have to give it nurture and clip off the ends and anything that isn't serving that plant so that it's in its best environment to grow. That's kind of like our minds. We need to be in the best environment. We need to feed it, we need to water it so that it can grow and remain open to blooming even more. Affirmations are very useful as we continue to grow and as we continue to look at our identities and our beliefs around our identities as well as the world around us. Sometimes when we're in a difficult situation, or it could be a challenging conversation even, it feels like what's happening at that moment in time is going to continue and you're never going to be able to get out of it, or it seems really challenging in a way that can sometimes make you feel uncomfortable. But the way that something is in this particular moment or today is not necessarily how it's going to be in the next moment or tomorrow. Your current situation does not define the final destination. And that is what is so amazing about affirmations. They remind you of that constantly. It's just like when you try something new. Imagine you want to cook something for the very first time. And you've never cooked it before, but you have tasted it and you know it tastes amazing. This is why you've decided you want to try to cook it. So you look for the recipe, you get all of the ingredients and you make it for the very first time. Perhaps it doesn't turn out quite how you wanted. I've heard stories, for example, from bakers, and they have all of their ingredients and they mix everything perfectly and they've measured everything out perfectly. But when they've taken the cake out of the oven, it's come out sunken in the middle. It's just kind of like with a new recipe. When you try a new recipe, maybe there are just few little bits that you need to add or take away, or even your own little flair and splash of ingredients that make it exactly how you like it. And until you've practiced that enough times, you won't necessarily get the perfect meal or cake that you're looking for. And it's just the same in what I'm saying about one day being different to the next. So you have to understand that as you progress and as you practice your affirmations, they will improve in the way that you look at things. And you will understand that just because something is a specific way right now, once I use my affirmations, I can turn that entire thing around to be exactly how I want it to be. A great way to use affirmations is to make them visible. If you can see them all the time, everywhere, especially in places that you are most of the time, that is a very, very good way of practicing using your affirmations, making them visible. You can get post-it notes that you can stick anywhere that you want to, anywhere that you go often. They could be in your room, they could be beside your bed, they could be on your mirror, anywhere at all that you will see them often, and that will help you to remember them. And as you see it, of course, you're going to read it, and that's going to exercise your brain memory so that you remember those affirmations and they become a part of you. I have a couple of ways that I like to keep affirmations visible. One is that I have a special pen that I can use on my mirror. So I actually have some written on my mirror, but not in an area that hides me looking in the mirror. So I can see in the mirror clearly, but I have some written affirmations on there. So whenever I look in the mirror, I get to read them and remember them. Another one that I have is I have a list of affirmations as my screensaver. So on my phone, whenever I open my phone, they come up as my screensaver, so I can read them anytime I'm on my phone and be reminded of them. And as you're practicing your affirmations, if there's anything at all that pops up or arises that you find particularly challenging, because you already have such a positive mindset from practicing your affirmations, you'll just recall one very quickly and you'll soon feel much better. And you'll feel much better because you have a positive outlook on everything and you have a positive mindset on just about anything. Affirmations also help to give you a sense of gratitude, not just for yourself and the things that you have, but also for those around you and others that you're surrounded by. And this can help improve on how you feel long term. This isn't just a short term quick fix. This is something that will last without you throughout adulthood. Why? Because you're instilling and you're practicing very good habits that will stay with you for a lifetime. Affirmations are an act of kindness and self-love towards you, towards yourself. And those beliefs will turn into things that you know to be true. Affirmations can be used as a tool to help your brain go into a happy direction. We don't want our brains going off into destructive thoughts. We want to keep our brains charging and marching towards happiness. And that's what affirmation helps you to do. The power of words has a great effect on our day-to-day lives. So what I will do is give you a space in between so that once I have said the affirmation, you can repeat it back as well. And then we'll move on to the next one and so on. Are you ready to practice some affirmations with me, Angel students? Let's get ready. As always, good posture, please. Head up, shoulders back, and your back nice and straight. And before we start, we're going to take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out. Ready? 1. And out. Nice. And again, in. And out. And the last one, in. And out. Lovely. Okay, as I said, I'll give you a chance to say the affirmation after I do. All right, let's go. I have great ideas. Today is a good day. I believe in myself. Thank you for my beautiful life. I am grateful for everything that I have. I am proud of myself. I am creative and imaginative. I am brave. I am kind and compassionate. I believe in my capabilities. I am loved and cared for. I am responsible and make good choices. I am honest and caring. I am important and special. I can be a positive example to others. My brain and body are powerful. I am kind to myself. I can ask for help when I need it. I am a gift. I am worthy of love. I learn from mistakes and they help me to grow. I can create positive change in the world. I am safe. I have so much to be grateful for. I am fun to be around. I can take positive action when something upsets me. I will do great things today. And that is the end of the affirmations today. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. If there were any that you felt you wanted to repeat again, that you really liked, that you felt, yeah, I like that, I'm going to write that down and I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to get a post-it note and I'm going to put that on my mirror so that I see it every day. Please do, okay? I really hope that you enjoyed our class today on affirmations, angel students, and until next time, goodbye.
Hi everyone, follow me. Let's do some warm up first. Keep your arms straight, breathing in through your nose. Relax your shoulders, elbow, whole body relax. Exercise your joints. 1 foot wide, heel up. Wrist and ankles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, exercise your knee joints. 1, all the way down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, relax your hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep your elbow up. Hands reach out far as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Body elbow look back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Arms straight. Relax your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, down, head up, neck. Slowly. 1, 2, 3, change. 1, 2, 3. Roll your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, change. 1, 2, 3. Relax your back 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, last time we did marble. So today I'm going to practice marble 10 times. So follow me. Keep your face and your waist. Bend your knee. 1. And jump up. 2. Jump up. 3. Jump up. 4. Jump up. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay, let's do one kung fu stretch. Turning out weight, slightly bend your knees, 1 foot forward a little bit. And lean forward from your hips, keep your back straight. Wait for your hamstring ahead. And focus on your breathing. If you feel easier, you can use your hands, grab your shoe, pulling your body forward as much as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change. This time, same. Lean forward from your hips, change leg. Focus on your breathing when you feel stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Relax your leg. Let's practice one balance training. Keep your hand on your knee. Hold for 10 seconds. 1. Focus on your breathing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Change leg. 1. Focus on your breathing. 2. If you feel too easy, you can try to close your eyes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Okay, so one more stretch. 弓步. One leg bent, one leg straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. So we did the 2 Kung Fu stunts, yeah? Mabu and Gongbu. So now we're gonna practice change side to side. Normally when you do Kung Fu, the stance is good to make your legs stronger, but the technique is between these 2 stances, yeah? So for example, you start with Mabu, your back leg push the floor, Gongbu, 1, Mabu, 2, back leg push the floor, Mabu, push, do 10 times. 1, 2, change, 3, change, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Also, we did the punch, yeah? For example, this time, you can keep your hands together if you want to. Bend your knees. 10 to the side. Punch. 1, 2, 1 block, 1 punch. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good. So one more kick. We do the stretching. So 单拍脚, keep your face and your waist. Try use your right hand, touch your right shoes. Okay, 10 times. 1. When you finish, bring your face back to your waist. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change leg. This time use your left hand, touch your left shoe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good. So this time, kick finish, 马步前子弓步. For example, facing your waist, kick your right leg, 1, 马步, and punch. Still 5 times. Facing your waist, 单拍脚, 马步, change 弓步, right hand block, left hand punch. Okay, 3 more times. 1, 马步, 2, punch. Okay, 2 more times. If you're getting better, you can go a little bit lower as well, yeah? 1, bend your knees. So you can put the bottle of water on your leg, not falling down. 2, relax your hips, back leg push the floor. So front leg bends, 90 degree, block and punch. Okay, so let's change leg. This time kick your left leg. Facing your waist, 1, marble, 2, block and punch. Yeah, 4 more times. 1, marble, 2, punch. 3 more times. 1, marble. 2, good. One more time. 1, marble. 2, punch. Okay. Facing your waves. This one you can practice 10 times by yourself. Let's practice 3 more breathing exercises when we finish today. Follow me in 2 foot point. Foot point straight, shoulders relaxed, arms straight. Turn your hands till you feel stretch. Breathing in through your nose. Collecting all the good energy into your body. Repair your body. Good for your health. And relax your shoulders, elbow, breathing out through your nose. Breathing in, good energy into your body. And breathing out. Get rid of tension from your body. Last one. Breathing in. And breathing out. Okay, let's finish here today.
Please like and subscribe so you can get more and more lessons.